3, 2, 1. Da, 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 da. Blue streak speeds by. Sonic the Hedgehog, too fast for the naked eye. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive. Look out when he storms through. Sonic the Hedgehog, don't doubt what he can do. Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic, he can really move. Sonic, he's got an attitude. Sonic, he's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive. He's the fastest thing alive. Disclaimer. Oh my goodness. The audio quality on this is not the best, but it's like a 20-minute episode, and I'm already a day late in finishing it. So please just, I won't ask you to do anything. You could skip this if you like, but what I will ask is that if you do want to enjoy this fully, just go ahead, read the original source as the audio's playing. Because once we get to Bunny, oh my goodness, you do not understand the accent at all. And it's the worst thing ever. I'm so sorry. Have a good day.
The Royals Fighter Service, Part 2. The even greater part. ... Sonic leapt into the air as the Robians all dived towards him. They all hit the floor face first. Sonic got into a spin dash move and charged at one Robian. He hit in the back of the head so hard the Robian's optics nearly popped out. Another Robian tried to slash Sonic, but the speedy Hedgehog leapt out of the way, the Robian's claw missing him by centimeters. Fiona tried a drop kick on one Robian, but the Robian ducked and gave her a terrific punch in the face. Ooh, that was terrific. Fiona flew across the room and landed headfirst into the wall. She hit it so hard she passed out. A Robian which assembled a vole ran up to Viola. She hit it so hard she passed out. A Robian which assembled a vole ran up to Fiona, ready to attack her, but Geoffrey shot at it with his arm-mounted crossbow. Several stunt darts hit it in the face and put the Robian out of commission. Unfortunately, Geoffrey found himself under attack from a Robian that assembled what was once a bat. It tore at his combat suit with its razor-sharp claws and prepared to bite him in the neck with its fangs, but Sonic homing attacked it in the back and knocked it off of Geoffrey. Dr. Eggman laughed joyfully as he watched his new robotic minions battle the fighting heroes. "Fight all you want, you pathetic beasts," sneered Eggman. "You won't keep it up for long." "Should we send in the normal robots to join in with these roboticized Mobians?" asked Alonzo. "Maybe we should," thought Eggman momentarily. "It would make things even harder for that meddling hedgehog." Then suddenly he was punched in the face by a sudden robotic fist. What? Eggman's eyes had swirls in them and he saw lots of stars. Then the fat doctor collapsed on the floor with a thump. Alonzo panicked and tried to run off, but he was punched by the strange robotic fist. That punch was so hard it knocked the butler bot's head clean off. Alonzo groaned and grumbled as he trundled over to pick his head up and put it back on. The robotic fist belonged to the half-roboticized female rabbit. Her new robotic arm seemed to be able to stretch a good distance, and she was about 10 feet away from Eggman when he managed to punch him and Alonzo. 10 feet. The rabbit looked surprised at the fact that it just happened. "Oh, my stars," she said with a tone of amazement. Her voice was a thick southern accent. "I could never do that before." I like this accent more. Then she saw her roboticized arm and legs, and had a bit of a freak-out moment. "Oh, my stars, have robot limbs now," she squealed. "How did that happen? I can't believe this. Well, at least I can get that ugly Eggman guy a whooping for doing this to me." Sonic had seen the rabbit punch Eggman and Alonzo and was amazed to the bone. He ran over to her before the Robians could grab him. "That was incredible," he said, forgetting his accent. How do you do that? I didn't know, Sugar, said the rabbit. My new robotic arm just stretched and punched that crazy doctor in the face. Well, those new robotic limbs seem to be useful, don't they? Said Sonic, admiring them. What's your name? Bunny, said the rabbit. But I guess y'all could call me Bunny Rabbit. Now, I have robotic limbs, she snickered. I'm assuming that's what that said. Okay then, Bunny, said Sonic. Okay. Care to help us fight these guys off so we can stop Eggman and send him packing? Sure, Sugar, how? Beamed Bunny, flexing robotic left arm and robotic legs. I'd love to. And with that, Bunny's arm stretched and she landed a powerful punch in the face of Robian that looked like a cat of some kind. The Robian looked dazed and confused as it fainted. Two other Robians saw this and scampered towards Bunny, snarling loudly. Sonic charged straight at the two Robians and homing attacked them both off the head. They both fainted and flumped on the floor. As for Geoffrey, he reloaded his crossbow and fired 5 stun darts at 5 advancing Mobians, knocking them all out momentarily. However, the poor skunk was getting a little worn out. Then one Robian leapt on him from behind and began tearing chunks out of his backpack. Geoffrey grabbed the Robian and flipped it over, hitting the floor hard with it. Boy, I need a backpack to store me some weapons, mate, he grumbled. Then another Robian leapt off his back, but Geoffrey was ready for it and shook it off with a good shake. The Robian flew off Geoffrey and hit the wall. The dog and mouse that had been freed before they were roboticized had been watching the whole fight with amazement, and they'd begun to think that they could probably join the royal fighters once they had gotten off the battleship. As for poor Fiona, she finally came to and staggered onto her feet. She rubbed her head wearily and tried to focus her attention on the attacking Robians. Then suddenly, before she could react, a Robian lunged at her and slashed her across the stomach. Whoa! Fiona kicked it under the chin, but another Robian leapt on her and chomped on her leg. Fiona squealed in pain as the two Robians pulled her onto the floor and prepared to tear her apart, zombie style. However, they were both punched into the air by Bunny's robotic arm. Fiona stared at her with amazement. Oh, thank you, miss, she gasped. You're welcome, Sugar, said Bunny, flexing her robot arm. You okay? No, one of those monsters just gave me a good bite on the leg, growled Fiona, clutching her left leg. There were deep puncture wounds on the lower part of the leg, caused by the Robian's sharp teeth. She wouldn't be walking for a while now. No, one of those monsters just gave me a good bite on the leg, growled Fiona, clutching her left leg. Oh, I already read this. Oh. I think y'all should rest, said Bunny with concern. That looks nasty. Fiona grimaced as she lay against the wall. This was certainly not her day. Her first mission, and she was punched in the face, knocked out, slashed and bitten, and worst of all, she had some weird mustache stuck to her arm. She didn't know where it came from or what, but some fighter she turned out to be. Meanwhile, Sonic was having his fair share of Robians coming to attack and then getting beaten back by his homing attacks and spin dashes. However, Sonic was getting noticeably worn out. True, he had great stamina, but he had never battled so many foes before, and any Robian that had been beaten down before had just gone back up for more. 10 Robians all ran up to Sonic, roaring like a pack of wolves. I can't do wolves. Sonic saw an opportunity and then got into a spin dash. He charged straight at the oncoming Robians. He knocked them all down like Skittles. As the fight continued, Dr. Eggman finally came to. His face felt like there was a thorn the size of his finger stuck in the middle. Eggman watched the fight going on. The Robians were all getting knocked down continuously, but they were coming back for more, and looked like they were starting to wear out the Mobian heroes. He smiled evilly at his robotic minions as they fought. Well, roboticized Mobians certainly seem stronger than my usual stash of robots, he purred. And while those fools fight, I think I'll just wipe a city off the face of this planet, as I remember my accent. He sneaked over to the gun turret control pad, which he had been repaired the day before. He looked over his shoulder to make sure no one was watching him. Do, and then pressed the red button marked in capital letters FIRE. The huge battleship's gun turrets all lowered down so they were aiming at the city of Mobotropolis down below, and then they all fired huge yellow cannon blasts at the city. Whoa. The buildings all erupted into a horrifying explosion of smoke, debris, and fire. Any Mobians who were fortunate enough to not have been sucked up into the battleship ran for their lives. Some were unfortunate enough to get crushed or injured by falling debris. Buildings that had been blasted by the battleship began to crumble to the ground like a fallen sandcastle. Nicole was watching the horrifying scene from Castle Acorn and thought she was going to faint. "Oh, Sonic, help us!" she wailed to herself. The battleship continued its onslaught of incredible firepower. As buildings exploded, roads cracked, and citizens ran about like a panicked colony of bees. Eggman just roared with laughter at all the carnage he was causing. The sight of a city being destroyed was a beautiful sight to an evil man like himself, after all. As for Sonic and friends, they were still fighting for their lives. However, they were being overwhelmed by the massed number of Robians. No matter how many they knocked down, they just got back up and attacked again. As Sonic spin dashed another Robian into the floor, he panted heavier than a dog in hot water. As Sonic spin dashed another Robian into the floor, he panted heavier than a dog in hot weather. "I don't know about you, but I'm getting super tired of this," sputtered Sonic, who didn't remember his gosh dilly darn accent. "There's too many of them," gasped Joffrey, sitting on the bottom. "What would happen to me if we keep this up?" "We're gonna have to escape or something," said Fiona, grunting with her most emotional pain flooding through her still paining leg. "I have an idea," said Bunny. "Let's bring that Eggman guy crashing down to the ground first, and then we escape. That should delay him for a while until we have a better plan." "Nice one, Bunny," said Sonic, forgetting his accent. "And I know how to do that." He eyed Eggman at the control panel, laughing like a deranged clown at what he was doing to Mobitropolis. Sonic gathered up the speed and charged straight into Eggman's back. Eggman screeched loudly as Sonic hit him. Then Sonic landed on the control pad, not hard enough to damage the controls this time aloud. Now which one of these buttons will bring this thing down? Wondering Sonic as he surveyed the control pad. Eggman had a flashback to a week before, where he was thinking, whoa, maybe I shouldn't add a self-destruct button to this thing. And then flashback to modern day, where sadly there wasn't a self-destruct button anywhere. Obviously, Eggman was smarter than most fiends he'd faced before. Then he saw a button that worked the engines. Maybe if he pressed that, the engines would turn off and the ship would drop to the ground. Despite the fact he might end up killing everybody on board, it would be worth it if he stopped Dr. Eggman. What's funny, it'd be pretty worth it. Sonic pressed the button without second thought. "No, not that one, you moron!" shouted Eggman. Too late. Sonic pressed it, and then the whole ship began to glow red. An alarm blared throughout the entire battleship, and the engines stopped roaring as they switched off. All the Robians stopped attacking the fighters and looked around frantically, wondering what on Mobius was going on. Even Bunny, Geoffrey, and Fiona began to worry. "What's going on?" yelled Bunny. "You infernal friend just switched the engines off," replied Eggman angrily. "The ship is going to go down and crash." "What?" shrieked Fiona. "Are you mad, Sonic? We're all gonna die." "No, we aren't," yelled Sonic. "We're gonna escape." He leapt for the broken window and flew clean out of it. Bunny stretched her robotic arm and gripped the window frame. Fiona and Joffrey held onto her, and Bunny pulled herself to the broken window. They all leapt out the window in a hurry. Eggman ran about in blind panic. Alonzo followed him, not sure what to do. All the Robians didn't know what to do, so they just copied Eggman and Alonzo. The ship engine alarm continued to wail loudly. Then Eggman stopped running about and yelled, "This isn't helping! We have to get to the escape pods!" "Why don't we just turn the engines back on?" "They won't power back up in time, even though we have like 5 minutes," replied Eggman. "We'll crash before they finish powering up. Now let's get out of here." Dr. Eggman jogged. Yes, this sounds rather humorous, doesn't it? To another room of the ship, Alonzo following him as quickly as he could. I didn't think that was pretty humorous, but whatever. Eggman ran to a door outlined with warring stripes and frantically pressed the open button. The door opened and Eggman ran to the escape pod door that led to. Alonzo followed him. The door closed and the escape pod jolted away from the falling ship. Meanwhile, Sonic, Geoffrey, Bunny, and Fiona were still on the ship. They had run to the end of the ship. Unfortunately, they were too high up to leap off the falling vessel. And by the time that it was low enough for them to jump off, the ship would crash and probably explode. How do we get off? Fiona fretted. Well, I don't know, said Sonic. I can't see a way down from here. And suddenly Bunny Rabbit leapt into the air, but instead of coming back down, she remained where she was! Exclamation point. Sonic stared at her in disbelief. Jet fumes were coming out from under the rabbit's feet. Bunny's new robotic legs gave her the ability to fly. Even Bunny couldn't believe what she was doing right now, even though she did it. Oh, my stars, I'm a flying rabbit, she squealed. Well, that's great, cried Sonic. We can use you to get down from here. Bunny flew back to Sonic, grabbed hold of him, and flew away from the falling battleship. She flew towards the ground and put Sonic down. Then she turned back to the ship and flew towards it to pick up Geoffrey and Fiona. Sonic ran off, knowing he was too close to where the ship was going to crash, so he had to get out of range, even though he was just leaving his friends behind. And since he could run fast, that wasn't a problem at all. As for Bunny, she knew she didn't have time to take one Mobius off of the ship and go back for the other, so she decided to pick them both up. Well, Geoffrey and Fiona held tight to the cyborg rabbit as she flew them away from the ship. As for the dog and mouse that Sonic had saved earlier, they found an escape pod chute, and they took the chute down to the escape pods. Wow, we're going back to this. They slid down the chute and into an escape pod, and the escape pod dispatched from the ship. A dog and mouse were saved. Then finally the ship crashed into the ground nose first. The ship exploded into a titanic, bright red and orange explosion that filled the air and surrounded the city with a tremendous bang. The whole ground shook like a giant jelly because the ship was so big. Bunny, Geoffrey, and Fiona stared at it with sheer astonishment. If they were still on that ship, they definitely wouldn't have crawled away from that. Even Sonic heard the explosion and turned around to see it. It was almost as if a volcano had erupted. In Castle Acorn, Nicole had watched the whole scene and now began to wonder if Sonic and friends managed to escape the ship before it crashed. Bunny flew down to the ground to put Geoffrey and Fiona down. Well, I certainly hope we don't go through that again, gasped Geoffrey. That was the biggest bang I think I ever bloomin' see. I'll say, muttered Fiona. Don't you have an Australian accent, Geoffrey? All right. At least we escaped with our lives, said Bunny happily. And we wouldn't have done it if it weren't for my robotic limbs. I bet Eggman's gonna be furious when he realizes he inadvertently saved us, sneered Fiona. Oi, mates, said Geoffrey, his face strangely sad looking. Now's not the time for celebrating. Look. He pointed. Fiona and Bunny looked in Geoffrey's direction and saw what he meant. Mobotropolis, the third largest city on Mobius and their home city, was completely destroyed. Buildings were billowing with smoke, debris littered the remains so much the city looked more like a rubbish tip. Fires were everywhere, blazing away like mad, and a few dead citizens could be seen lying around. Whoa! The sight was truly appalling and horrifying beyond description. Even Sonic had seen this carnage and was absolutely devastated. His home city, burnt to the ground and reduced to nothing more than a smoking wreck of fire and debris. Sonic was more ticked off at the fact he failed to save the city as well as himself and the others. He was more depressed at the fact he didn't save any of the roboticized Mobians so they could hopefully find a way to de-roboticize them or something. Today had truly been a dark day for Mobius. A whole city blasted to smithereens and many lives had been claimed. Hopefully one of those lives was Eggman. And suddenly a hovering sound filled the blue hedgehog's ears. Sonic turned to the left and saw Eggman's escape pod hovering just above the ruined city of Mobius. A bunch of spare mustaches hit Sonic in the face, making his blood boil. That fat fiend escaped from the ship before it crashed. That made him feel even angrier since Eggman lived to fight another day. As for Eggman, he felt delighted to see the ravaged city and Sonic's angry face. Oh, ho, 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 chortled Eggman from inside the escape pod. How does that feel, Sonic? You fought hard against me, and for what? A city unfit for civilization? A city so wrecked and ruined even the tiny little insects wouldn't find sanctuary Oh, yeah, you can't hear me. Eggman's mean taunts made Sonic even angrier. He growled furiously and gritted his teeth. Eggman, he yelled loudly, you will pay for what you've done to our home. I'll make sure that you are kicked out of Mobius and we'll be free from you once and for all, and I'll get my voice to rest long enough so I can do Sonic voice again. Eggman just mocked him shamelessly. We'll see about that, you little runt, snorted Dr. Eggman. Especially since I'm going to create an army of robots. and release them everywhere on Mobius. Think you can catch them all? He roared with laughter. This world will be mine, and you will all be roboticized. See you next time, Sonic. And with that, he flew off, hoping to find a good place to build a base for himself. Sonic was so enraged he wanted to run after the Fat Doctor and kill him, but killing wasn't what this hedgehog did or glorified. So he reluctantly remained still, paralyzed with anger, and watched as Dr. Eggman. He soared away in his little escape pod. Bunny and Geoffrey walked over to Sonic. Bunny put her organic hand on the cross hedgehog's shoulder. Sonic calmed down a little after feeling such a lovely touch from a remarkable woman who had saved his life. Whoa! Y'all did all you could, Sugar Hog, said Bunny softly. We all did, mate, added Geoffrey. That Eggman bloke's a real tough one. Sonic sighed sadly and turned to his friends. At least you brought down Eggman's ship so he won't be destroying any more cities for a time, he said. And now all we have to do is find Eggman and take him down. For now, I think we should rest. Especially me, grumbled Fiona. The bite marks had stopped bleeding, but her legs still hurt very badly. Sonic noticed this and nodded in agreement. Being now a city is destroyed, there isn't a hospital for you to go to, he said sadly. Haven't you noticed Castle Acorn is still standing? Noted Geoffrey, without his accent, pointing. Sonic looked in Geoffrey's direction and noticed the skunk was right. Castle Acorn hadn't even been touched by Eggman's onslaught of a fire cannon. There was even a little shine. They must have stopped him before he had a chance to fire at the magnificent castle. Sonic's face brightened at the sight. Well, that's convenient, he said happily. The sight of Castle Acorn still standing fills me with a little bit of hope for Mobius right now. I'm filled with determination, and they have medical rooms for anyone who lives there, so we can take Fiona there to heal. Fiona's face brightened. Then suddenly another hovering sound was heard. Then it was followed by the sound of landing. The Mobians turned their attention to the sound and saw another escape pod exactly like the one Eggman flew away in, only instead of something evil or terrifying, out of it stood the dog and mouse Sonic had saved from being roboticized. Geoffrey pointed his crossbow at them, but Bunny put his arm down. Easy, Sugar. There's one of us. Oh, sorry, mate, said Geoffrey, blushing. I had trouble trusting people never met before who a little event that happened to me when I was little. I don't want to talk about it. Now come you trust us in a jiffy? Asked Sonic with Bunny's accent. I can trust a fighter, especially a raw one. Dog and Mouse walked up to Sonic and friends. Well, hi there, Sonic, said the dog. You saved me and my friend Mandy from becoming robots, and for that we owe you our lives. You're welcome, said Sonic cheerfully. Well, that's what heroes do, save lives. His name's Wilson, by the way, said the dog. Nice to meet you, Wilson, shaking his hand. And you said the mouse's name is Mandy, right? Uh-huh. We watched you four fight those robotic demons bravely with determination, said Mandy, twirling her tail. So we can join you for in the Royal Fighters service. That would be great, said Sonic approvingly. We need all the fighters we can get. Can you two fight, though? Because if you can't, I don't want to deal with your boys. No, said Wilson sadly. Well, we could get some combat training. I'll be happy to help you, mate. I'll be happy to help you, mates, volunteered Geoffrey. I'm a pro at this stuff. That's nice, said Mandy. Where do we sign up? Oh my goodness, this is taking a toll. You just go to His Majesty King Max himself and ask to join the group, said Sonic. Let's go get you two signed up immediately. I'll sign up too, said Bunny. After all, I haven't joined the Royal Fighters yet. Even though I feel like I have. It's only been like 20 minutes, I think. Sonic gave her a thumbs up. Yeah, you deal with that. And also, your robot limbs will come in handy for us all, he said. Now let's pay a visit to the King and Queen and see what they think. Despite all that happened today, Sonic felt a glimmer of hope for himself, his friends, and everyone of Mobius. Eggman had won for now, but this battle was far, far from over. What a way to start a story, eh? This is the author's notes, by the way. Sonic's home city has just been destroyed, but there seems to be a ray of light in this dark hour, as the Royal Fighter Service is ready to kick some booty. Join me next week as we have an introduction of everybody's favorite twin-tailed fox. Reviews are welcome, and any criticism must be constructive. No flaming or insulting reviews, please. You know, mate, I think I did a pretty good job. Well, I think you did a good job, too. Well, I think, me personally, I'm gonna go get some rest, get some sleep. Probably later I need to pee. But you know, this is chapter 3. Let me just look at this a little more. Next up, we have the 2-part special event, Speed and Flight. Come check out the next part in a special 2-part collaborative event, even though the Royal Fire Service was also a special 2-part event. I'll not record that now, because I need to pee. And then, you know what? Until next time, stay. Please stay. No one's ever going to watch this.